Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your April 2023 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm excited to be coming on and giving you a nice equinox reading for your month ahead, as usual with intuitive messages followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading linked below on Patreon. If the reading resonates, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications to get alerted when this channel posts future content. Anyway, Scorpios, let's talk about you. Let's talk about April. Okay, first of all, I just want to tell you that May 2023 is a major sort of like bullseye energy for you. Like there's a major sort of zing coming up there energetically that is going to be, I think, a turning point for you. So I'm not feeling that for April, but I am feeling that for May. So I think that's just good to know in thinking about April as well, like leading up to possibly a turning point. And it feels very positive. So this turning point coming in May feels like, for many of you, a nice positive load off, like a wonderful opportunity that you needed to give yourself. And it's probably going to generate at least like a 3-month cycle of, for some of you, like maybe even like self-apology or healing through understanding how things were like overdone, or through understanding some of the like overkill that might have been in your life. But that's not quite here yet, but it's good to start moving that direction already. So for April, pulling this back to April a little bit, you're looking at some degree of basically like wide range understanding of the full picture. So as you approach more of a like catalyst point in May, you're going to face a big like vista or a big picture of the way that everything is. So I think that it's a very valuable month for noting how things are in your life, and for basically starting to rewire or reconsider, remap. Those are words coming up, like basically anything with a re preceding it. So like redo, rewire, remap, reconsider, reset. Okay, a lot of things are basically resetting in your life, and you are kind of approaching a sort of like timing, you know, like we have the nodal axis still with the south node in your sign and the north node in Taurus. And then by June or July, it's sometime this summer, they're going to change into Aries and Libra. So you've got like April, May, and at least some of June to really understand the way that things are moving forward, and to really sort of consolidate focus or consolidate purpose inside. And I think that you don't have to worry at all about that concluding later this year, as I feel that it's going to be more of a relief, because I am feeling that kind of like a 9 of Swords experience for you. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out exactly how I'm moving forward. I have to figure out exactly how all of this continues or how it doesn't, and I have to, you know, figure everything in my life out. And I think that things will start to actually get easier, or you will just in sort of like a flurry of energy really solve everything quickly. So you have only 2 major arcana cards in your reading this month, the Magician and the Sun. So that's very active, right? It's been such a push of sacred masculine energies coming in this April for most of the readings. We've been having a lot of like the Emperor, a lot of the Chariot, a lot of the Sun, very strong fire energy. Of course, we are in your fellow Mars-ruled sign of Aries this month, with a stellium of Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Chiron in Aries, which is a quincunx to you, but it's familiar because you share the rulership of Mars with Aries, the traditional rulership. So I don't think that you just need to be like cool and collected. I don't think that you need to just be passive here. I really think that you have to actively pursue what you know you need. So if you have something that's damaged in your life, I think that you need to actively pursue healing that. If you have something that you're not happy with, I think that it has to become an active process of resolving that, instead of just passively awaiting the change, and especially just stagnating in that 9 of Swords place. Like, I don't know what to do. I am trying to figure out the best way through. In some cases, Scorpio may just have to like step into action and allow their trust in the universe to actually mean something to them. Okay, rather, you know, sometimes being too strategic, sometimes being too in the mind with things denotes a lack of trust in support or a lack of trust in higher power as well, and puts too much trust into the individual choice making, which becomes like Nine of Swords. So that I think is something that you're solving this month, and you may also have really positive experiences that shift you up for a pretty major turning point in May by being so positive. And it's like, no longer am I having to spend all this time in fear or shame or agony, and instead I am actually more confident, more optimistic, and more embracing the energy of love to basically increase the prosperity of my life tenfold. It's something like that. But let's talk about your week to week, Scorpio. In the first week of April, you have the Five of Swords rooted up by the Nine of Swords. So we have this last little push, okay, of very hyper logical, hyper thought-oriented energy in the mind. I think this is ending after the first week of April, but you might have like a climax of it then, or you might choose to like just figure things out there, and like you might have been having this like sinking feeling, or this kind of like nagging context in your life that you say, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to it, whether I have to be up all night, whether I have to, just burn the midnight oil to finally figure this out, I'm finally figuring it out. I do feel that for you with this Jupiter-Chiron conjunction we've had in Aries. It's very much like, I'm done guessing, I'm done feeling nervous about this, I'm done feeling like unsure, and I'm just going to face this. So there's something you might have to face in the first week of April, and it might not be super comfortable. But by doing it, I think that you walk out of a long cycle of misery, okay, and into a much more giving, healthy, potentially healthy time period. Also, I think people could be taking advantage of you. Okay, Five of Swords. You might be like thinking about how to please people, or you might only be thinking about, for example, your customers' wants and like not your own well-being, or you might only be thinking about your family or your significant other, and like that puts you in a very drained place. So try to change that up and prioritize your well-being a little bit more, especially regarding anything that has like you feeling damaged, or you feeling like you're at your wit's end, or you feeling unsure or painful. Try to change that narrative now with your own capacity, and watch how you're supported doing it, okay? And then there's going to be, before we get into the second week, there's going to be a major, probably turning point in May that revolves around, oh my gosh, I was actually way more supported than I ever realized, and I never had to put myself through that. And there's that kind of thing coming up for Scorpio this year, which can be very healing. Second week of April, you have the Magician rooted down by the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. That's kind of like that, what I was just talking about as well. It's like, I understand that I have a sort of diversified sense of well-being. You know, the pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the wands all coming together. Everything's on the table, and it's well proportioned. Try to proportion your life in an equal way. Sometimes Scorpio can be polarized or extreme and like invest everything in one thing, or put all of their energy into one pointy thing. And I think that you're called during this time, and also receiving more from the universe, by mixing it up a little bit. And maybe by having like multiple pursuits, or having different projects, or having different sources of income or well-being in your life that will end up giving you more. And I feel like once you kind of readjust, this is very Pluto and Aquarius, right? Pluto is your ruling planet, right? Has changed sign. And this is the first full month of having your ruling planet having changed signs, and it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is all about what I was just mentioning, like transferring things, kind of like switching, putting things in different places, like transferring wealth from one place to another, or investing your energy into different places, energy changing from one canister to another. And that feels very giving. Okay, so I feel that you receive a lot through that, and that's very supported for you this month with that combination. It's a great combination. It's also a great combination for bonuses, promotions, career elevation as well. Also, the prospect of taking something to the next level, like the next degree up, or the next position up. It seems like something that would be on your mind as well. Week number 3, the sun rooted down by the Two of Cups. There's more to relationships now. Okay, so this can certainly be the relationship with yourself, but I think that you might need to get more integrative in your life. So integrating more people, integrating more members of the team, integrating also more friends and friendship. I feel like this is a secret area of major gain for you if you allow it. But then there are some Scorpios who are on a very solitary path at the same time, but there's some different way of looking at relationships. There's some kind of different philosophy about relationships, friendships, specifically relationships that are more emotional in nature. So I'm not so much even talking like professional relationships, any kind of like political relationship or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm really talking about kinship and camaraderie and that type of relationship. Specifically platonic, I mean, though it could be romantic as well with the Two of Cups, but I feel like it's like equal ground. It's like also like soul tribe, or shining more light on to the type of person that's willing to connect with you right now might teach you a lot about where you're actually at. I'm going to underline what I just said, Scorpios. That's very important. I feel that maybe some of the questions that you're asking at a much deeper level right now can only be answered through understanding who you attract into your life right now, based on the choices you're currently making that you might doubt or you might be unsure of, can't really be shown light on until you understand the people that are willing to be there in your space, around you, in this context, in this paradigm of yours. So there's a great time to maybe put yourself out there in the third week, or to start also... Ooh, okay. I'm feeling, Scorpios, just randomly, this is great. Random psychic download. Finally, after like 7 years, okay, now that you've gotten past the Saturn quarter return of when Saturn was in your sign back in 2014 and 15, you might actually be able to give yourself what you needed back then. And it could be very simple. Like just, I don't know, some kind of pastime or some kind of hobby that you wanted back then. It can be very healing to give that to yourself now, to basically quench some kind of like hunger that might have emaciated your spiritual body many years ago. So this needs to be healthy. This doesn't need to be like, oh my gosh, I always wanted to break down and spend all my money all those years ago, so I'm finally going to do that now. No, it needs to be more healthy. Like, gosh, I always wanted to get that degree, or I always wanted to learn that language, or I always wanted to write that book, and like finally giving it to yourself, even though these aren't like even monetary things, or these aren't even things that are necessarily super material, okay? They, I feel, are an important part of your development now. So I would let yourself maybe step into the things that you've wanted for a long time now, okay? And start to heal that previous emaciation through connection, through other people, okay? Through who comes into your life now, and then also through taking on things that you maybe lost because of some kind of trauma cycle before. So that's very powerful. Week number 4, the Six of Pentacles, rooted down by the Page of Cups. More intuitive contracts, okay? Less rigid contracts is an important thing for you, and I think a lot of you are thinking the absolute opposite. Like, I need more structure, I need more people with consensus seeing me do certain things, or I'm needing more debt, or I'm needing more equity, or I'm needing more, whatever it is that you feel like you're needing more of at this very like contractual, material sense with the Six of Pentacles, needs more creativity put into it. So that's where I'm also going back to what I just said, like creative projects of the past, or things which you've not finished before, now being an area of healing for you, because it kind of transcends some of these other like more strict contractual issues. But anyway, Scorpio, that's about it for this month. I'm going to do an extended reading for you. I'll get a central theme, 2 supporting themes, and a significator card that will be linked in the center of your screen and below on Patreon. And we'll talk more about, let's talk more about getting past the Saturn quarter return and coming into this next 7-year cycle, and what that will mean for Scorpio at a higher level. So thank you, Scorpios. Come check out the extended. It's a great offering over there on Patreon. And I will see you next month. Have a great one. Bye.